You build Monopoly. How to play. The rules are the same as regular Monopoly, except for these changes. For a refresher of those rules, check out this video. Set up the track like so for your first game. This is called the starter track. You will also need 40 residential blocks, 2 skyscrapers, 1 hazard, 1 bonus building, and 1 die. Each player starts the game with $12.9 million as seen here. For a more advanced game, set up the classic track like so. Use 40 residential blocks, 20 industrial, 1 school, 1 park, 1 power station, 1 prison, 2 skyscrapers, 1 Monopoly tower, and 2 dice. Each player starts the game with $24.9 million as seen here. For a bigger challenge, set up the Pro track like so, using all the extra blocks except for the railroads. Each player starts the game with $31.7 million as seen here. Finally, if you want to set up a custom freestyle track, you can rearrange or replace the colors of any existing track, or you can completely change the shape. If the ends do not connect, use the railroads on either end. Whenever a piece reaches the railroad, it jumps to the other end and continues its move, not counting the railroad as a space. When you pass go, collect 2 million. Properties have been replaced with districts. There are no houses and hotels. Instead, as soon as you own a district, you may build residential and industrial blocks on it. You do not need to own a complete set in order to build. Each district may have up to 8 building blocks on it. If you own all the districts in the same color, then you can buy a skyscraper, attaching it to the side of one of them, to double the rent for all those districts. You may only build 1 skyscraper per color group. Skyscrapers do not double the rent for other districts they happen to touch. Once you own 2 districts of one color, you can build the stadium for 2 million next to either one of them if you want. If you do, then every time you pass go, collect 3 million instead of 2, even if the districts it is attached to are mortgaged. The stadium is not a bonus building and does not protect your districts from hazards. If you own all the districts in 2 color groups, then you can buy the Monopoly Tower and attach it to any one of them. The Monopoly Tower doubles the rent for every district you own, but it does not double the rent for an opponent's district it happens to touch, nor any of your colored groups that have skyscrapers. If you land on a planning permission space, you may either place an unused bonus building next to a district you own, place an unused hazard next to an opponent's district, or you may move a hazard up to 2 spaces. You are not allowed to place a bonus building next to a district that has a hazard touching it, and you cannot place or move a hazard next to a district that already has a bonus building touching it. All residential buildings on districts that are touching a hazard become worthless and do not count towards the rent value of that district, but industrial blocks are not affected. On any one of your turns, you may pay 1 million to move a hazard 1 space, up to a maximum of 2 spaces on each of your turns. You can move it to the next side of an available space in either direction, or you can move it over the space to the opposite side of the hexagon. When trading, all buildings and their benefits transfer to the new owner. To mortgage, collect the rent value without doubling it from skyscrapers or the Monopoly Tower and flip over the title card. To unmortgage, pay the current rent level the same way. Auctions start at 10,000 and increase in increments as little as 10,000. While in jail, you may not build or move hazards. The cost to get out of jail is 500,000. When playing on the starter track, you can roll a 6 to be released from jail. If you land on a bridge, open it if it is down, or pay 1 million and close it if it is up. Then, take a chance card. Most chance cards have 2 chances on them. Follow the instructions for the one that matches the new position the bridge was just changed to. If it is impossible to follow the instructions on the card, then return it to the bottom of the deck without doing anything. The game ends as soon as the first player is bankrupt. If the bankrupt player owes another player, Then they give them all that they have, but they do not unmortgage any of their properties. Then, all the players still left in the game receive rent at their current rent level from the bank for every property they have, and the player with the most cash wins.